Yeah, you read the title correct, and depending on where you live, there is a chance if you're using a modded Fire Stick, you can get in some potential issues, but it's not as simple as you think. And if I'm being honest, throwing someone in jail or giving them a fine for using a modded Fire Stick in 2024 is just such a ridiculous concept because, as we know, a huge majority of the population illegally stream some sort of content throughout their year, and I think that's just the obvious truth. Now, if you watch this channel, you already know about saving while streaming through various different devices, through various different services, but you also know a lot about the legality on streaming and third-party streaming apps. So today we're going to talk about a bit of an article that's saying people are going to start getting in serious trouble for using illegal apps on their Fire Sticks or paid Fire Sticks that were bought from dealers, which we've heard of in the past. So earlier this week, I saw this response from Free Tech, and it's on an article from Lad Bible, which Lad Bible, whatever, right? Like they have a lot of these reactionary articles where they're just trying to get clicks, but it's saying, warning, given to Brits who watch sports using Amazon Fire Sticks illegally. Yes, big warning, right? Now, in the article, they state a number, and it's funny because Free Tech kind of calls them out right here. In their survey, they found out that 19% of households illegally stream somewhat throughout the year, right? Either one piece of content, two pieces of content. But I actually find that so hilarious that they would do a survey and think people would tell them the truth on that. To say it's 19%, like even Free Tech points out here, I think I call them Tech Doctor for some reason, but even Free Tech points out here, 19% is laughable. And I also love this guy's response right here from Age, who said, would you rather pay $60 a year for like a third-party IPTV service or $120 a month for using like Sky Sports and a bunch of other streaming services? And that right there, that answer summarizes the whole issue with our consumer-driven TV content, right? And live content. It's just ridiculous. But this article from Lad Bible doesn't get much better. In fact, I actually think it's quite hilarious. So I'm going to go over a few of these points and kind of debunk them and also talk about the language they're using throughout the article to really make things seem scary for you. And it kind of starts with this first sentence, and it says, if you're getting your sports fix on a jailbroken Amazon Fire Stick, and let's start by saying there are no jailbroken Fire Sticks, right? These are just Fire Sticks that have apps installed on them. It's an Android-based system. You can install any APK on a Fire Stick. You may want to urgently reconsider your streaming habits because it's so terrible. Although it might be all fun and games while you sat on the sofa and surfing through your premium content you could desire, it could land you in big trouble with the law. And is it really worth to see your beloved team get beat again in real time? I think not. So you can already see right away the language they're using makes it seem like such a negative. But we never talk about the real negative, which is the prices are ridiculous, right? Like they can't expect you not to find other avenues when they're making things so expensive. They make it almost like you're paying a car payment every month just to have all the streaming content you want. It's crazy. It went from more affordable than cable to less affordable than cable, which is a crazy concept to think of, that the cable companies actually might have a chance to be the better deal again. I will admit the UK has stricter laws. In fact, there was a man that was jailed for basically offering Fire Sticks that he would just resell with IPTV services on it. And it said that he made over $1 million. He probably made even more than that. You can make a lot of money selling this stuff. But yeah, he was jailed, right? And the UK does take that serious. And even for those users, so not the initial, not the seller, but the actual consumer, the person using the product, in some parts of the world, it can be a little more dangerous for sure. Now, the reason why those people get caught is because they're not using a VPN, which means they can easily have their IP address traced. And if you want to solve that issue, I do offer a nice discount on IPVanish. Yes, they are the channel sponsor. If you're going to comment down below, he's just here to advertise a VPN. Yes, it is part of the way that this channel gets sponsored, but it is legitimately a great product and at a really great price, $325 a month, $433 a month if you get the yearly, or $325 if you get the 2-year, 30-day money back guarantee. Cancel it at any point. The link is down below, and this is the only promotion in the video, so don't worry, we're going to move on with the story. Now, a 2022 survey, that's where they got this 19%, which is clearly not correct, but it turns out Fact, which is like the UK ACE, so they're basically like the anti-piracy coalition. They get sponsored by a lot of these companies, and they basically go around threatening people. That's what they do, or working in collaboration with the police. And it turns out they're not happy about this survey, that 19%. They'd like to get that down to 0, which we all know is unrealistic at the price point of content. The real only way to lower that number isn't by jailing everybody that uses it, but in fact, it's to make the service more affordable so that number can go down to 5%, 3%, 2%. You have to make things affordable in order to have that number lower. That's just the fact. No pun intended there. Now, even Lad Bible points out that it's not against the law to use a modified, jailbroken, or hacked Fire Stick, and that's actually correct. But again, there are copyright laws, and if you have your IP address leaked and your internet service provider doesn't protect that, there is a chance they could show up at your door and maybe give you a notice. Now, I think I've heard of that happening once or twice, but it really doesn't happen that often, and I don't think it's a big thing to be worried about. Now, I found this kind of hilarious. Facts said there's been a significant increase of the number of people snitching. Like, who is going and just being like, yeah, I was at my buddy's house last night and he was illegally streaming the football game. Yes, I used the correct term, UK viewers. He was illegally streaming it, and I would like maybe a little reward or something for ratting him out. I really just don't think that happens. Now, the other thing I really don't like in this article is they just go on trying to make things very scary. They brought in this digital expert that said, yes, buying these modified Fire Sticks, they really risk your personal data. And yes, there is always a chance with everything you have. And that's why you have to be sure of the stuff you're using. And does official services typically offer more protection? Yes. But has there been big leaks with companies such as Sony and Amazon in the past? Absolutely. So it's not like official companies aren't also gone after, right? Like there is some risk even in using any app or service that companies offer. There's even another article here where they talk about a hacker's illegal streaming warning if you use IPTV or jailbroken Fire Sticks, which again, there's no such thing as a jailbroken Fire Stick. It's a ridiculous concept. So this is actually one of the main tactics that facts use, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Lad Bible had this article written part of a contract where they have to write a certain number of these articles, because the more people that see these warnings, it adds that extra scare factor that you should be afraid to do certain things, when in fact right now the internet is still the wild west, and if they want to solve this problem, they have to stop trying to solve it using these tactics, because at the end of the day it's just not going to work. So that's everything for today, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. See you in the next one.